Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You go right
Wait
out.
a minute, we're going too fast.
Go ahead, right out.
I wanted to ask, like, what gives you your vision for your shoes? Because I close my eyes and I envision myself wearing the shoes, and I envision my dad wearing the shoes.
Uh-huh.
So, are you African?
So just what's my vision when I design them?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's really just so I grew up in church, so I've always been dapper, and I've always been in that lifestyle of wearing dress shoes or casual shoes. So my mom liked shoes, and I used to draw shoes in like middle school and high school. So it really just came back to me. I really look at what's in the industry, and I just add my own twist to it. Like the gold tips that I got on the shoes, like the gold tips I got on them. For example, this is like a regular Oxford that you would just find like they would be like the solid color of the shoe. But when I added the kilting, because I like doing stuff that's different, and then like the gold tip, I like to stand out. Although that I like the timeless look, it's more like conservative, but I like to have a little pop to it too. So the red bottom is okay. Somebody has to turn and walk away for you to see like the luxury or the flyness of that. But with my shoes, you can see somebody coming from afar and be like, oh shit. Those shoes. I just design from just what I like, and it's not really like too. It just comes to me. It's like natural. You know how everybody has their area of expertise and stuff just comes. People wonder like, oh, can we cuss on here? I can cuss on here, right?
Yeah, do you think, fam? Go ahead.
I ain't want to be cussing and then like you got to cut shit out.
Hell no. Go, do you think, bro?
Yeah, but you know how people have an area of expertise, and you look at them, you're like, oh shit, how did they think to do that, or how did they just like, how does their mind work on that? And it's the same with like the shoes, it's just my area of expertise, and it's just something that comes natural to me, to be honest.
Right, dope. Now, dope.
Let me ask you this: is the gold tip on the shoe? Do you have that trademark? Is that patent exclusively for your brand only?
No, it's not, because mostly in the dress shoe industry, you'll see a lot of shoes that are the same. So you see your regular mark straps, Oxford bows, wing tips, and you see most of the same stuff. So nobody really like patents a dress shoe like style unless it's something that is monumental as the red bottom. And today, it's like there isn't a lot of stuff that you can do that hasn't been done, because there are some Adidas shoes that have like a gold shell toe tip on them. So yeah, it's a lot of shoes that have been done in gold already. So who am I to come in, and be like, hey, this is exclusive to my brand only. So it's not patent, it's not trademark. Just my logo is trademark and things like that. But in the future, if I ever design something that's like stupid, like crazy, like a whole new kind of like dress shoe, then that would be something I would probably like consider doing, because at this point, I just do I take the shoes that are out there, the style of shoes, and I add my own twist to them so they can be unique to my brand. So it's just more of a signature detail that people know from when they see my shoes, like, oh, that's LFLS shoes right there.
Cool. Are you actually any stores right now? You got any deal? Get any designer clothing stores? Anything?
No, everything is direct to consumer. So I love doing direct to consumer to build that generational wealth, and just leveraging and just building a brand and a platform for myself. I want it to be self-sufficient, and I want it to be like solid, before I even step into that realm, because it's like starting another business, going into like brick and mortars and stuff. And like the bigger goal for me is to eventually have my own brick and mortar. So I want to make it like more of an experience, because now, brick and mortars are kind of like dying down. Not a lot of people go in the shop. Right. Even with the buyers, we're being forced into like the digital age. So it's like, how can you be creative and think outside of the box to make the demand to come to your space still exist? So I'm big on experience, and we can talk more about that later. But yeah, everything is direct to consumer right now.
Right. So how did you initially, like when you got started, like when you made your first shoe, like explain the process of that and how you like blew up to where you are now? Because you had to start somewhere. Could you kind of walk us through the process of starting to getting where you're at right now?
Yeah. So starting, man, it's like, it's crazy, because I grew up in a poor, underrepresented area. So it's not like I had like an entrepreneurial mindset or just the funds or the background of knowing that you can start a business or having the step-by-step. So when I first started, I read an article about a girl that started a shoe company while I was majoring in fashion in Arkansas, where I'm from. And from that article, I was like, shit, she had money and connections. That's why she started it. And I was like, I don't got that, but I'm majoring in fashion, and I used to draw shoes. So let me start sketching and Googling and seeing who I could call, trying to get in contact with some factories or something like that. So I utilized my resources that I had, majoring in fashion. Got in contact with an agent out in New York, and they ended up developing my samples for me. And then fast forward, and they ended up like screwing me over, which was kind of like a blessing and a curse. And I can talk about that more later too. But those are kind of like the first steps, just sketching, or initially having the idea to think like, okay, I can do this myself, and I can start a business, and I can create generational wealth. I don't have to go work for somebody else. And then knowing or thinking about, okay, what do I actually want to introduce to the market, and then that being shoes from that article, and then my mom jumping on to help me out with credit cards and stuff to get my first samples. So yeah, it was really just sketching, like an idea. You know how you have an idea, and everything is an idea. Like even us being able to do this was an idea at one point.
Yeah.
I feel like if you manifest, if you have the faith, if you just like really work hard for, you can take stuff out of your mind, and it becomes like something that's physical or tangible to the world. So yeah, that's all it was. It was like an idea, and I just step by step, baby steps, and learning in the process on what I need to do. Because even right now, it's always a learning. It's always something to learn. It's always a lesson to be learned in a loss that you take. So I'm always taking losses. I'm always learning, and that's what it's been like since day one. So that's how it kind of like came about.
Awesome. Now you say you're from Alabama or Arkansas?
Arkansas, country kid. I'm from the South.
You're all the way down from the South, man. Salute to you. So you're doing your thing. You're drawing shoes. You have aspirations to go ahead and make this dream come alive. What took you from Arkansas to Los Angeles, and what was that step? What were those steps like? What was that journey like? I was once, I used to live out in LA back in 2012, and I know going from Jersey to LA, going for a dream, that shit is not easy at all. So talk about the journey, talk about your trials, your tribulations, and getting to where you are now from Arkansas to LA.
Yeah, so like the biggest part of my story is like going way back to like right before I graduated college is 2013. Well, when I was like growing up, 2013 or 2010, my grandma passed. 2013, my dad passed. In 2016, right before I graduated college, my mom passed. So that's like a big part that inspires a lot of people. And your brand is, to me, I just released some digital guides to teach people about branding and business growth strategies and personal brand development. And for me, your story is such a huge part of your of your brand or your product, your service, whatever you do, or yourself, because that's what allows people to like get attached to you or your brand, and they can create directly. But I've just been in LA for 8 months, so it's a new move, it's a fresh move. It's not like I've been here for like a few years or something like that.
Okay.
To make that move, it just really took me making that decision in my mind. Because there were small things that were holding me back. But I really wanted to build a good foundation before I did make any kind of move, because I didn't want to be that person that came to LA and I was like, oh shit, I moved to LA just to make it happen, because that's what people think is going to happen. You move to LA and shit just pops. So I wanted to really build a foundation, really build a community, and build a brand, and see like if my product was really something that people wanted. So that was a long process within itself from 2016 up until 20. Can y'all hear that too when somebody texts me on my computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know if it happens again, I'll try to figure out how to like turn it off, because I can't hear y'all unless I turn it up. But yeah, I decided to move last year around March, like April. I decided to move, and I made a trip to LA, and I made another trip the next month, and then after that, I moved within like 3 months. So. And it was really like a quick thing, because one of my mentors out here, he was like, you should move, why haven't you moved? And he's successful. So I really think the mentorship part plays a huge part in like the next big move that you make when it's something like that, because I made a lot of big leaps of faith. And this was kind of like the biggest one that I made outside of like just starting a business and going full time into it after college. But yeah, it was really just mentorship and just like me understanding I need to build a brand before I really moved. Because I wanted to move when I first graduated, because I just lost my mom. That first order of shoes came in late, and when it came in, they were defective and lower quality than what I wanted. So it was really a lot of stuff that was fucked up with that, and it was basically taking something that somebody else would see as nothing, and making something out of that. So I've always prided myself on doing more or less, and it started off from nothing. So just to be from Arkansas to LA and just look back to see, that journey and all the losses and all the not having enough funding and the sales not being great and all the shoes being screwed up on that first order, and just really all the trials and tribulations within that journey. It's a lot of different stuff. So I could sit and talk about this, and this. But, overall, the move from Arkansas to LA has just been, me being consistent and, just really taking that leap of faith and having the right people in my circle to push me off of that cliff so I can take that leap and give me that confidence and reminding me that I am great, and I have something that people want, so.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
So as I am 20, I'm about to be 22, still in college. And I have a lot of friends that have took that path, that leap, but then they stopped, they got stagnant. So as a person in your stature right now, as a mentor, what is that next leap that you have to take?
Who, like me personally, or talking about you yourself?
Like, as just like, what do you have to do after that point? Like, after you've got stagnant.
After you gotten stagnant, I mean, I would look back to, is it something you're passionate about? Because if it's something you're passionate about, you really don't become like stagnant in it. Just like you, the love you have for it and the passion that you have for it, no matter what happens, whether there's a roadblock that holds you out for like a month and you're really like depressed for that whole month because you don't think anybody wants to buy your product, that's when the passion and the love for what you do kicks in, and you have to think, okay, why did I start doing this? What's my purpose? What's the foundation that I've built off of? And that, I feel like that allows people that are in a stagnant position to push through that, because they go back to the roots. They figure, okay, this is why I started this. This is what I've been through already, and if I can get through this, I can get through this specific situation I'm in right now too, as well. Because there have been months months, weeks, however long, where I've been, depressed and like, dang, sales aren't coming in, or, do people want my shoes anymore? Even this virus, like, people that aren't passionate about what they're doing, they will like, they'll just give up, because the pandemic and the lockdown has a lot of people like panicking and just figuring, okay, what can I do? Or, everything is just going to go to shit. And it's like, if you're passionate about what you're doing, and if you really tap into yourself and you figure out how you can diversify and keep moving forward, I feel like that helps people get through those situations, as well as your circle. Like, the people that are around you, I can't say that enough. Like, the people that you acquire as friends or mentors or business partners along your journey are going to be the most important and impactful people in your life and your journey and like to success, because they'll be there when you're in your room and you're depressed and you feel like, yo, I should give up, I should go get a job. And they'll be the ones that talk to you like, yo, do you not see what you've done in the past 2 years to build to this point? Like, how many people are doing this? How many people are doing that? Because when you're in the mess, it's hard for you to see exactly what you've done and put it into perspective how great you are as an individual. Because it's easy for me to go preach to somebody and talk them up and pour into them. But if I'm not being poured back into, then it becomes an empty glass. And I feel like, yo, I ain't shit. But in actuality, you like hit the top 1%, doing what you're doing. So
right.
It's really important to have that circle around you.
Do you I want to ask you the process of the making a shoe now. Are you have a warehouse set up now? How does that process go? Are you touching any shoes anymore? Do you have a team? And also talk about the importance of, having a good team behind you as well.
Yeah. So the process of making my shoes, my factory is in Brazil. So my factory there, they produce all the shoes that I design, and then they ship them to me. And I personally like package every shoe that comes through, every order that comes through my website. I package it. I like print the label, fold it, put it in there, tape it up, take it to UPS. Like, I'm doing everything because, the brand can look as if it's like a huge brand from the outside, but on the back end, it's like that person is still putting in a lot of work to actually make that brand, take it to the point where they don't have to touch everything. And I feel like it's a beautiful thing to be able to be hands-on with your brand, because a lot of people, they'll have the money or the capital to hire somebody else, or let stuff be automated, and they won't understand what's actually going on in their business. And if I don't understand what's going on with accounting or fulfillment or with bookkeeping, whatever legality, I'm like, yo, you can't really just run your own business, So it's really important for me or anybody that gets in business, to have to understand every aspect of their business and really work in wear every hat. A lot of people don't want to do that, but I wear every hat in my business, and then even outside of my business, because I do more things than just the shoes. I do a lot of stuff. So, that's so I handle everything. I run everything out of my apartment. But the factory, like I said, is in Brazil. And when it comes to team, you still have a team whenever, even if you're the one that's like doing everything within the business, because that goes back to your circle. Because you might have a business partner within your circle that you're a partner within another venture, and they assist you within your business. You know, they might not be a salary employee or something like that, but they're in your circle. And if you need some tips or advice, you know, it's kind of like friends with benefits, but the benefits within the business is like financial gain and just the knowledge that they can pour into your life. So you know, it's the circle. It goes back to the circle too when it comes to like the team that you'll have within your business. And that can, and it's just like a marriage. You know, whenever you do get to the point where you know you do have like a business partner come on within the business you've been working in yourself, or you have an employee, you know, you have to understand that you know it can't just be anybody. You know, you're not just gonna get married to any woman just walking down the street. So it's like within your business, your baby, the things that you built, blood, sweat, and tears over the past 4, 5, 6 years, is like that next person that comes into that business has to really fit the mold that, or just be that person that represents the brand in a good way, or really they're as passionate about it as you are, which is hard to find, but you know somebody will come along and really fit that mold and assist you in the way that you need to be assisted. So, but yeah, I do everything myself.
Right. So why would somebody, you know, buy your shoe over like a Stacey Adams or another shoe? Because, and I also want to ask you too on the back end of this, are they comfortable, your shoes? Because I know that for me, I like dress shoes, but a lot of times they're not comfortable. And if you wear them so long, you start getting corn. So tell us the process to win into making sure like, all right, mine's going to be not only look better, but be more comfortable than the competition.
Yeah, so even with me stepping into the luxury market of shoes, most of those shoes are made in Italy, and the last that they're made on is really narrow. So the Italian last is always known for like if you wear Louboutin shoes, you're probably gonna have sore feet just because like the toe box of that shoe is a lot more narrow. But with mine, I made sure to make mine like from an American last, so it's more room. It's a standard D width, but it's not like narrow and like pointed at the toe. So I've gotten great reviews on comfort when it comes to wearing the shoes, and then of course like the style that I put into them, like the different design features, also allows them to stand out. Because most of the time, when you shop at these bigger brands, or even if they're just like, because the bigger brands are like where I want to place myself is like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, and then if you come down to in the dress industry, there's more like Allen Edmond, McNani, Aldo, Steve Madden, like you mentioned, and things like that. So I like to have the fit and the comfort of the middle class, like Allen Edmond, McNani, and Steve Madden, but have like the style and be a fashion forward shoe company, you know, to stand beside those brands that are like household names within the luxury industry. So with mine, you get comfort class and you get cause. I say that a lot, comfort class and cause. So comfort, then my shoes are actually like comfortable shoes. Class because, you know, they're kind of like vintage with a twist. I say that a lot. And then cause because there's a purpose behind my shoe company. And when people actually know that when they put my shoes on, they step into my story. So my like kind of tagline is put yourself in my shoes. Mm-hmm. So I like letting people know the story behind the business. And the story is kind of always on the forefront because it inspires a lot of people. And when they put the shoes on, they actually step into my life and the journey that I've been on while creating this brand. So, and then also just shifting the narrative. People understand when they go to my my Instagram page, my shoe company, it's like a camera roll of Black excellence, you know. So I love being able to shift the narrative and take that back within our community, like one shoe at a time. Because when I see guys that wouldn't typically wear suits, you know, put on a tailored suit and then put on my shoes, or if I'm scrolling down the feed and I see my shoes, I'm like, dang, this is like, it's really impactful to me, but also like that community that I'm like, you know, inspiring and uplifting and shifting the narrative of. So yeah, you know, that's why comfort, class, and cause.
Dope. Speaking on your brand, you got your Instagram, LFLS Shoes. Speak on that. What does that mean? Give us the mission statement behind your shoe.
Yeah, so LFLS Shoes, it stands for Like Father, Like Son legally. And that's, I picked Like Father, Like Son because I wanted to have the same exact dress shoes for the father and the son, because I kind of see it falling short whenever, you know, you see a father, they're out at a formal event and they got on the same exact custom suit, but when it comes to the shoes, it always falls short. So I wanted to kind of like fill that void seamlessly by offering the designer shoe to go along with that for the father and the son. And then I introduced women's shoes. So I was like, you know, it grew and it became bigger, and it was more of a family thing. So I looked at it as like actually bringing the Black family or any family back together through the connection of like style and just like, you know, everybody being able to wear the exact same shoe or similar shoes whenever they go to a formal event or step out and they want to be dapper and elegant, you know. So that's the name, and that was the purpose behind the name. And now it's gotten, you know how you plant a seed for something and you water and it grows into something bigger.
Yep.
That's kind of what happened with that vision behind Like Father Like Son, and now it's like a full family kind of deal.
Victor intern brought you in here. He got us. He introduced us like, yo, this dude, he make these dope ass shoes, man. He got all the celebrities out there wearing his shoes. All these celebrities wearing his shoes, man. Talk about how the celebrities started catching wind of your brand. The first celebrities that caught wind of your shoe, purchased your shoe, and who are you out here tailoring up and getting right now?
Yeah, so I worked with a few. When I got here, when I moved to LA, people knew me from social media and things like that, from my personal brand as well as the shoe brand. And then I've just been getting connected with the right people, and a lot of stylists reach out to me directly so they can pull for me for photo shoots and stuff like that. So I mean, Mario has been in the pair. He did his album shooting at Don Benjamin.
I seen that.
Don Benjamin wears them all the time. I've had Tasha Page Lockhart, Anthony Anderson, who else? This kid that's on a Disney movie. But yeah, they catch wind a lot from social media and just the way I market and brand my business, but then a lot also from just stylists pulling for me and wanting to like put my shoes on their clients. So I mean, the celebrity stuff is cool, but I really want them to understand the importance of like supporting businesses, because a lot of them will get on social media and post like, oh, support Black-owned business, support Black-owned business, and they'll be like, send them to my P.O. box. I'm like, bro, you got to like buy this shit. Like these businesses can't fucking survive off just sending all these celebrities product, and then they only wear it one time, they don't post it, they don't tag it, or they don't wear it at all. So it's like, if you really put money in that business bank account, and then you actually get the product, you actually wear it, and you actually try to show it off and tag it like you do Gucci, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi product, we would go further as a community, and as like a community of brands, because you don't really see a lot of luxury Black brands. You always see like t-shirts, hats, you know, this and that, but you never see something that can be long lasting and timeless and really stand beside these brands that, you know, we idolize today. So that's something I wish they would understand, is like actually investing in these brands and not just saying, oh, send me your product so I can, you know, do nothing with it. And if I do post it, it's like, okay, you post it, but that shit, it's like, it really don't put, it can put money in a brand's pocket, but with a brand like with a product like mine, people have to see that shit like 6, 7, 8 times before they even like to say, okay, bet I'm gonna invest in this shoe.
Right.
So it has to be something where that celebrity builds a relationship with that brand, and they really want to support them, and they understand the mission and the vision of that brand, and their community or their fan base can actually see the connection between them and that brand, and they can believe it more. And then once they see, like I said, they got to see it over and over again. But you know, when I get to the point where I'm like super icon A-list celebrity, I want to actually like purchase each product, and I want to reach out like, oh, I might reach out and say, hey, I like your product, whatever, but I'm gonna make sure I actually like purchase the product, and if it's something I like, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it if I don't like it. So because I want to wear it. I don't want to just buy it and just like throw it to the side. I want to actually like buy it and like wear it, so I can tell people about it, and I can just tell people like, yo, they didn't send me this for free. You know, I know this brand. I believe in this brand. I bought this shit. You should go buy it too. You know, so I feel like that's more powerful than just getting the free products into you.
Definitely.
You know.
So I want to say you remind me of the mentor that got me here today, Mike Forrest. He makes it cool to dress like a youth pastor.
A youth pastor?
Cool as hell, man. You remind me of a youth pastor. You're mad inspirational. Mad motivation.
Definitely.
I love showing people that you can be yourself, because I'm a goofy ass dude. Like, I'm real goofy, real down to earth, real chill, but I'm real inspirational, real motivational, and real like informational. I share a lot of information, and then I'm really like about my business. I'm about building, I'm about generational wealth, and I'm about educating people on that, and just really speaking on panels and keynote speaking. But even in that setting, I love to be like my goofy self and dance and just show people you don't have to step into a character, you know, in order to become somebody great or make an impact on the world. You know, you are who you are. You're unique to the world, and you were created to stand out, you know. So why not show your unique features, and whether that be whatever the hell you like to do, just be you. And that crowd that likes that, you'll attract them. So I talk about that a lot too, man, because people put on the front, and it's like, yo, you see them on social media, and then you get in person, you're like, shit, this is like night and day. This is a whole different person. So I'm always genuine, always authentic. Authenticity is like a really, 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 really big thing when it comes to building a personal brand or just anything in general, bro. Because if you're not authentic about the shit, it'll show and it'll wear you out because you'll start to hate the person that you built and you've become because you have to step into this character or this costume every time you step out of your apartment or your home.
Absolutely. So right now, how many different styles and color variations do you have available for the people, and where could the people that's going to listen to you find, your shoes at right now?
So different. I have two specific men's styles. I have my Oxford, and I have my signature loafer, the Batchman and the Beck. In the Beck, I have it in two colorways, and the Batchman I have it in 1, 2, 3, 4, like five or six different colorways. So it's about 7 different options guys can choose from. I just discontinued my women's flat because I'm about to introduce my shoes in the unisex, like kid sizes, because women like the men's shoes. I'm coming out with 2 different heels. I think that's gonna take the brand to a whole different level because women they've been begging for them heels, bro. They've been on my ass. I've been like, all right, if y'all don't buy them, I'm gonna be on y'all ass.
Word up.
And then some flats too. I'm gonna come up with a new flat that I designed. So, and then to find the brand, it's on Instagram, LFLS Shoes. The website is www.lflsshoes.com. And then outside of the shoes, if you need help with branding, business development, social media strategy, anything like that, I offer one-on-one consultations for that. And I also just released 2 digital guides last week. One, like I said, is business growth strategies and branding. And then the other one is personal brand development. So I spent 12 hours on both of those shits, bro. Like the first one was 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Like I sat and I really pour a lot of like information, knowledge, and just like, cause I just love this shit. And they're $14, bro. Like I charge $14 for $1 million, like from $1 million tips. And I want to be able to impact, the world and just show my value to the world. So through those guides, I've been able to do that, and people have been purchasing and giving good feedback. And I'm just excited about where that stream of income is going to go because that's something that it adds credibility even for me as a speaker or just like a mentor. It's like, oh, this dude is pouring all this knowledge into the world. It's like shit, he really knows what he's talking about. Outside of just the credibility I built on social media, it's like I really put it in words and I really sit down and I type this shit myself. Like people can't really focus for 12 hours on typing some shit. Like.
Not easy to do.
So yeah, I really. Oh, and then these are my basketball though. That's the loafer right there.
Oh yeah, that white one. Yeah, that white one is that one. Dope. That's the one right there.
That's the one right there. Oh my gosh, she said that's the one.
That's the one right there.
Now, real quick, I gotta ask you, how do you go from the designing of the shoe to Brazil? Do you do it digitally? Is it something on the computer? Do you draw it out? How does that process work as best you can without giving way too many secrets?
I got some secrets. Like I got a lot of secrets, but no. When it comes to that, I'm sure we all got secrets. You know what I'm saying? We can't tell everybody all.
Yeah, most definitely.
But when it comes to that, I just sketch. I'm not a real technical person, and they've been designing shoes for forever. So I mean, if I sketch something, or if I send like if I have like images for them to play off of, or if I have a sample of a shoe that I like and I want to send it to them, and it's based off of my sketch. They can easily, because everything's made off of last. So a last is like, and of course they're bigger, but this is like a small like kids last. Mm-hmm. And what they do with this is they tape it, they put tape on it, and they sketch the shoe that you did. So if I did a side view of a shoe, a sketch. So basically, if you have a shoe, they can sketch it on this side, and then they like flip it to the other side and they mirror it. And then they take the tape from that. They start to cut the patterns, and then they cut the patterns into like the leather, and then they can like they just mold the shoe around like the last, and it's created just like that. So.
You tell you love that shit. That sound like ancient fucking hieroglyphics to me right now. I'm listening. I'm hearing you.
I hear everything you say.
I drop videos of the process on my Instagram. People love to see that because a lot of shoes are glued together, and a lot of people love tennis shoes, and I'm like, bro, tennis shoes are overpriced for no fucking reason. It's just like it's hype because the quality of a tennis shoe, like most of them are glued, like the sole to the upper. But like when it comes to dress shoes, like everything, either they're Blake stitched or they're Goodyear welted, and that means they can be resolable. So the quality of a dress shoe. The reason dress shoes actually like you can actually specify why a dress shoe is $500 versus like a sneaker. It's like, okay, the quality of the sneaker versus the dress shoe is like it can't be compared. So quality is everything. But yeah, that's how they're created based off of my sketch with the factory. I just send them a sketch or a sample shoe that I like, and they can develop it off of that.
Dope.
Yeah. Go ahead, do you have any like ideas to go into like a boot type of dress shoe?
I've tried a Chelsea boot, but going back to, like I said, having a niche market, like people come to me for a specific thing. So over the years, you understand like what kind of like people buy from you based on sales. You introduce something new or you test something. So boots don't really work as good for me. I feel like a brand that does really good with boots is Taft, because they started off with that. They found that market for it, and they dominated that market. So people like flashy dress shoes. So that's what sells for me. And as a small business, you really can't test without the capital that most brands have. You can't test a lot of different things or market it to a different demographic and try to bring them in too. You have to really focus on what works. And then whenever that pops, then you like branch off and stuff. But I think my first next move would be outside of dress shoes. Instead of boots, it would be kind of like it would be something that can complement the dress shoe, like a dress shirt or a blazer or a slack or a full suit or a hat or some kind of accessory to go along with it. Because I want to eventually expand into like a one-stop shop. So. And I won't even have furniture on it. I want to be able to put my logo on anything, and people just want to purchase it just because of that brand value that I bring to the table. So, you can put Louis Vuitton on the condom, and niggas will pay $200 for it just because I love it. It's like I want to get to that point where it's like, okay, my brand carries that much weight to where I can introduce a boot, or I can introduce a chair, or a hat, or a suit, and people are like, I gotta get that just because like the LFLS value that comes along with that.
So I got one last. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I got one last question. So we all have a bar, right? Like basketball players, their bar could be Jordan. Got our bars in this media game. Is your bar Dapper Dan? And if it is, who? If it isn't, who's the bar of like what you do, and what is your goal in exceeding that bar? What do you see for yourself? Because you just said that you're a fashion major. You've always been into fashion. Shoe isn't something you want to box yourself into. You're getting into shirts, blazers, decking it out all the way. So what is the bar for Dr. Dapper? And who's at the top of that bar right now? Excuse me.
I feel like with me, I'm in fashion, but I tell people this all the time. I'm in fashion, but I'm not in fashion. I'm in the business of lifestyle. So when it comes to that, I don't really have like fashion icons that I look up to or designers I look up to. I really don't know a lot about, luxury, high-end fashion, because I don't come from that background of knowing about luxury high-end goods or designers or this and that runway stuff. So I'm really literally that country boy. I'm still to this day. So I'm really like lifestyle focused. Everything I do, regardless of if it's like me speaking, the way I dress, the shoes, the suits that I introduce, anything, it's all, based on lifestyle and how I'm able to impact people's lives. So the people that I think I love in that realm a lot is like LeBron James, Will Smith, Steve Harvey. I look at people like that. I'm like, okay, I love the way they live their life. I love the energy. I love their family dynamic. And I love the way they impact the world too. So, LeBron, for example, he's not boxing to just being a basketball player. He got the school, he got foundations, he got this and that. Right. His wife is involved in a lot of stuff, and then his kids are like it's crazy how much I look at his son play basketball. I'm like, yo, this kid is just like him. So I look at people from like outside of what they do specifically, and it doesn't matter what industry. And I look at how they impact the world, the way people look at them, the perception people have of them, the energy, the vibe they have, and just diversifying what they do, and me, just doing the same thing. Following behind them. So yeah, Will Smith, LeBron James, Steve Harvey, stuff like that. I like those guys and the way that their lifestyle is.
Awesome, man. We want to say, man, we definitely, I know I can speak for everybody when I say this, that we definitely respect, what you got going on, your inspiration, to us just sitting here, because we can relate to some of the things, maybe not in the same business, but in business in general, what we do, the ups and the downs, and having to continue to climb. So, keep doing your thing. We're definitely gonna be reaching out behind the scenes. Definitely want to get in touch with you about the brand building and all that, and hopefully be able to buy some of your products as well, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to flying out there and being able to sit down with you guys and really just building, because it's a different kind of energy when you sit face to face.
That's a fact.
I love face to face shit. This damn virus flies over, I'm like, I'm out. Like, I'm headed that way. So yeah, I love in person stuff. But yeah, definitely, if any way I can support or share, if this is going to be like something that can be shareable, I can make a meme and post it or something like that. Let me know. Drop $100 away. The digital guides for sure are dope, and then the shoes, of course, always gonna be here. But yeah, it's been dope.
Appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you. We'll make sure Vic the intern gets a couple clips over for you to get over to your YouTube so you can share it, and we'll let you know when the link or when the official video is out. We got 3 platforms, so whatever video or platform we drop it on, we'll make sure to grab you those links as well, man. But we appreciate you having you on the podcast, the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with Dr. Dapper. Eric Jones in the building, man. Go check him out on IG right now. Get people your IG handle real quick and where they can find you before we get out of here.
Personal Instagram is the Dr. Dapper, so TheDoctor Dapper, and then the shoe company is LFLS Shoes. So yeah, tap in. Links in my bio if you need anything. Everything's pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, thank you for your time. Signing out.
You want to say something else after that one?
That was the first time. No, he said, fuck it, I'm going to take this one this time. We're going to do it.
I just did it. I just thought it was time.
For sure. Anytime, man.
All right, bro. We'll be in contact, man. Appreciate
you. I want to show you. I want to definitely meet in person and show you some stuff that I've been drawing out. Definitely.
Yes, sir. All right.
Stuff on IG and stuff like that, or email, text, IG. Yeah, whenever we link up in person and stuff like that, we can definitely chop on all that.
Dope. All right, bro. Salute, fam.
Take it easy. Peace.
Be easy.